Okay, welcome to the Endless Honeymoon Podcast Secret Jump. We're doing things a little bit differently. We actually have next week's main episode guest here on the Secret Dump with us as a teaser for the kind of fire she's about to bring next week. And let me tell you, that one's a doozy. It ends in a way that is shocking and no one could have predicted.
Never seen before.
You have never seen this before on a podcast. But if you have seen it close to something like this on a podcast, it was definitely on our podcast because this is a disgusting
Or maybe some
podcast.
kind of porn situation.
It's Beth Stelling, ladies and gentlemen. Beth Stelling, our friend of the pod, friend of the people.
And actually very good, deep advice.
Good, deep advice. Yeah. No, it was a good episode. It will be a good episode, but this will be, I think, a great secret dump. We usually start the secret dump.
and arguably, so is
We usually start the secret dump, Beth, with a written-in advice question.
Okay.
Why don't I read you? Should I read her a few and let her select which one she wants to do, or is that ruining the
Only if
surprise?
you cut it out.
Right. Okay. We'll cut it out. Okay. I'm gonna read Beth a few. She's gonna pick, and then you're not gonna know which one they were. Number 1, how do you bring a new kink into the bedroom?
Okay.
Number 2, how to convince my husband to get a vasectomy. We already have 2 kids. Number 3, is it shady to subscribe to an OnlyFans without telling your partner?
Yes.
That seems like that's the one. Should we talk about that?
No, I just feel like that's obvious. Do you mean
I don't think that's shady at all.
you don't?
Not at all. No.
To subscribe to an OnlyFans?
Why would it be shady? What's shady about it? I would do that and never tell you. Absolutely. It's just pornography that you pay for. What the hell? What does it matter?
But is it
Isn't
the same
there personal exchanges that you're paying for?
Not really. It doesn't have to be. You're just getting access to her content. But even if it were personal exchanges.
Would you answer honestly?
What?
If I was Natasha and I said, hey, do you use money to pay for porn?
I have. I mean, I will answer that now.
How many OnlyFans
I've never done
subscriptions
OnlyFans.
Are you?
Honestly, I've never done OnlyFans.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, what if they start DMing you?
DMing me what?
Hey,
There's a difference.
Mister.
Hey, mister, I'd like to take this beyond the fantasy of every subscriber to OnlyFans ever comes true for me. She's like, I'd like to take this beyond the chat.
she wants your money.
And what? She's like, if you'd like customized content, you can pay me $19.95 and I'll fuck myself while screaming Moshe. Would I tell you what I think that's wrong?
Yeah.
To be honest with you, no, I wouldn't. It's luckily for you.
See what I'm dealing with, Beth?
Yeah.
I don't think that I would. I'm not interested in that. That wouldn't turn me on either. But I don't think it's just pornography. What does it matter?
I think porn is extremely damaging.
To what?
My pussy and my relationships.
But that's you. That's
How is
you.
it damaging to your pussy? Men don't know how to fuck the same way?
I think it's pants off to pounding.
Yeah, but that.
Wait, hold on. They just immediately take their pants off and want to fuck.
Yes. I think it teaches you bad habits. I think it's performative. I think there's a lack of intimacy and connection. And it doesn't mean staring in someone's eyes and saying, I love you. It means intuiting this person's body and what they might like.
That all might be true. I mean, I don't fully agree with your premise, Beth. But even if your premise was true,
Are you telling me that you don't think it affects your guys' sex life? In your ability to connect?
I don't fully agree with your premise.
Actually, I'm coming around to your...
But hold on. But that's not even the issue we're discussing. We're not discussing is porn a destructive force in intimate relationships. We're discussing is it wrong to... Because I look at porn.
No, we've pivoted.
Oh, okay, we can pivot.
We're pivoting.
We
but
can pivot.
I would call it dovetailing, if anything.
I would call it fishtailing.
Okay.
Which is when you...
I call it snail trailing right over
I know you would, girl.
to a different topic.
No, but that's... Okay, I'm down to talk about that. But what I'm saying
It's
is...
saying, is it wrong to not share with your partner that you are now paying?
It's a form of duplicity
For
or a weird form of soft infidelity.
Yeah, I think so. Look, I'm not over here denying that men are gonna porn.
Do you think it itself is a form of soft infidelity? Just looking at porn, free porn?
It's a slippery slope. Some people can have a drink and other people can have one that turns into 40.
Well, everything's a slippery slope, though. I mean,
So I guess it is a person by person basis, but I think it's ignorant to think that porn doesn't affect your ability to connect with a partner, whether it's long-term, short-term, one-night stand.
I just don't. That doesn't make...
Of course it doesn't make sense to you because you want to look at porn every day.
Women look at porn. I mean...
Not every day. Women,
I don't know.
Most women do not rub one out every night from porn because their
Most women-
mothers, they're busy.
They're mothers and they're busy. I'm
I
a
mean,
busy father, and I still find
and you still find time to
find
rub one out at
2.5
1
minutes at 1 a.m. Well, no, but I don't think that if that were true, because what do you think the percentage of men that are looking at porn on a regular basis are? 98%?
I would say 99.9.
99.9%.
on a regular basis.
Then according to what you're saying, all intimate relationships across the board would have been becoming degraded. Somebody would be talking about that. That's not true. No, it's not. It's not true. There's not less. There's less intimate relationships than there were 40 years ago. That's just not. That's not reality.
Aren't there like more single people than there's ever been in the world?
Where are you making this?
I think if you ask a couple therapists, they would say majority of their male patients struggle with addiction to porn.
But that's
interesting.
Did
you hear that, Moshe?
I heard it loud and clear.
Do you feel like you might have an addiction to porn?
I know that I don't. I have an addiction to porn the way I have an addiction to coffee. I use it as a tool and I use it regularly. Mm-hmm. But does it get in the way of my intimate relationships? Absolutely not. This is my opinion of myself. I could be in denial, I guess.
Look, I'm not in a marriage and I've never experienced one and I don't plan to. So I don't know what it looks like for sex to evolve as a couple more than, I think my longest relationship is 3 years, if I'm remembering correctly.
Yeah, that's a solid relationship.
Yeah, and it didn't end necessarily because, the sex isn't good anymore. Different things. So I don't know what it looks like to have that longevity or, there's always like the hack joke in my mind would be like, you start doing all kinds of weird stuff to keep it fun. Mm-hmm. It's like, I don't know. That's kind of what I'm saying. Like, I don't know how it affects you guys differently than it would affect me.
Don't get me wrong.
It's a really interesting idea though, Moshe. It's nothing I've ever thought of.
Well, don't get me wrong. I want to clarify my position here. I'm not saying it doesn't affect relationships negatively. It doesn't affect men's sexuality and their interaction with porn. I'm not saying that at all. It definitely does. I'm just saying it is not innately degrading to intimate relationships to be a consumer of porn. It is. Some people have that issue. Some people
disagrees with you.
Yeah, we disagree.
Yeah, because I think if you cut it out entirely, like if you obviously masturbation is healthy for everyone and it helps your mental health, it helps you sleep. So I'm not over here saying it's dirty or nasty or something's wrong with you. I'm saying if you were to cut it out, maybe use your imagination or think about other things.
While you're masturbating, you're still masturbating.
I'm not even saying you can't think about anybody else ever. I think that's probably also unhealthy.
Mm-hmm.
But I think the actual viewing of it, just like watching too much TV or being on your phone or scrolling too much on Instagram, degrades your well-being. I think cutting it out, like a good experiment would be to cut it out and invest some of any of that time and energy, whether it's 30 seconds, 2.5 minutes, into... That was
a joke. It's not 2.5 minutes.
Okay. Into your sex life with your partner.
But we have a very healthy sex life.
I'm not even judging it. I'm saying, like, what if you saw the scale tip even marginally?
For me to participate in that experiment, I would have to feel some form of I would have to feel an acute lack in my sex life.
Well, then maybe you have to wait until it gets there. I hope it never does.
Well, I just don't think you feel it's inherently.
Or maybe there's a hole that you're not even, or a blind spot that you're not even aware of.
Right, or maybe there's a bias that you're not aware of.
Or maybe I don't want to have sex every night.
Well, there's that too. I mean, I think what's funny actually.
But I guess it's a person by person basis. Just like not everyone's an alcoholic, and some alcoholics can go a year not drinking, and the one night they drink, they fucking 100%. Crash a car and kill.
It is much more akin to alcohol, but that would be like saying I think that alcohol is inherently degrading to the human experience and leads to addiction.
It doesn't always.
It doesn't always, and same with porn.
Although a lot of people will say that
I said it leads to addiction. I think
no, I'm saying with alcohol,
you would be healthier in other areas, which is also true of alcohol.
Mm-hmm.
So,
because I can, and obviously I'm not anti-alcohol either.
Mm-hmm.
Would I feel better and if I didn't ever drink? Yeah, probably.
Yeah, I guess I don't think that about alcohol either.
But you don't drink, and you're so right, Beth. Like, yes, it's fun to drink, but would I be more productive, more healthy,
less wrinkles, less dehydrated? There's a ton of health benefits.
More successful, never hungover. I mean, it's like obviously.
You know what is funny though, because I don't want to go too far into a rabbit hole of us just arguing.
Yeah.
Is when I masturbate and I don't have porn. Mm-hmm. To me, usually, I mean, I don't know if I should say this.
We can edit it out, I guess, unless you don't feel like sharing.
Well, usually what I think of is I roll through former sex partners. And to me, that is much more...
Worse, you think?
Well, I don't think either are bad. I don't judge sexuality in that way. But in terms of the like framework of like what's better or worse, what should you be thinking about? A performer that you don't even
roll through your past sex partners.
I think about sexual encounters.
I will, if I'm masturbating, which again I'm sort of like, if I turn off the faucet, I'm not thirsty.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of how I can go. I can go a long time.
Oh, okay.
Until it starts like dripping is what I'm saying. But I also I think about partners I've had good experiences.
Yeah,
with.
like little memories of.
And I'm not saying I never
Isn't that
watched
worse?
porn, and that if because I have watched porn, I'd rather watch a video of porn that I've made with someone.
You'd rather watch yourself fuck.
It's not even necessarily myself at all. I don't.
Something you have a connection.
Yeah,
to.
it's
You'd
just,
rather watch
I'm definitely looking at them.
The man you love slowly masturbating, saying your name.
I don't know.
Beth.
I don't think I ever said my name.
Beth.
Yeah.
Kind of a thing.
Yeah.
This is interesting, Natasha. What do you think?
Yeah.
I definitely don't think of my old sex partners when I
What do you think
masturbate.
about?
I mean, honestly, I usually watch porn, but I don't watch it daily. I watch it probably like weekly or fortnightly.
It's hard for me to find
Fortnight?
It's hard
You
for
would
me to find
masturbate every
something-
fortnight.
It's also just like hard for me to find something I'm not like
You don't feel
Yeah.
offended by.
not even offended.
I
I'm
didn't
just
mean
like,
that.
ugh.
I didn't mean that in a judgy way. I mean something that
Yeah.
doesn't make. Yeah. I get
Yeah,
what you're
because
saying.
it's sort of like I don't know. It'd be like if you were fucking someone and you definitely don't want to be called daddy, and they're like, "Yeah, daddy," and then you're like, "Oh no," like that will always happen to me in porn. I'll be like, "Okay." Oh
even-
man,
I always mute it.
Oh,
That's a good
really? You
idea.
mute it.
Yeah.
Interesting.
But yeah, like I I agree with you. It's not like I'm looking to argue about it. And I agree. I could totally be biased about my own experience or people I've been with or just like my preferences. So I'm definitely not looking to shame.
Okay, so back to wait. I had one more thing I wanted to say, which was even me, and I consider myself not just with porn but with all content. I have a pretty high bar of like being like I can consume not just porn. Natasha always makes fun of me. Like I can be watching a documentary about like a cannibal that ate children, and then be like, oh, okay, well I'm a little tired. Good night, and just be out like it won't disturb me.
Mm-hmm. You're unflappable in that.
I'm a
way.
little unflappable when it comes to that. I definitely, on a regular basis, encounter a video where I'm like, this is horrifying. This is so misogynist. This is too much. So it is out there. There's
And
no question.
I guess too, we're dealing with an issue of intelligence and in general, and emotionally and otherwise, which is, and again, I talk about this in my set, but it's like if you're watching porn to prepare yourself for having sex with a human being, that's like watching NFL football to prepare yourself for having sex with a human being. You know,
It's
like
so funny.
You should never be like have you ever watched porn and be like, I'm gonna try that on her?
Well,
like, to me, I think they're so separate. So why?
Well, okay.
It's like, why watch this video?
It's funny.
Never apply.
It's funny because I actually have a bit in my set also that is, it's basically your premise,
Okay.
which is that that porn has made 18-year-old boys think that this is the way to fuck. I mean, and I kind of make it in similar territory.
Mm-hmm.
But I do think that if you, this is really, I hope people are going to hate me at this point, but I do think that if you, when it comes to oral sex,
Mm-hmm.
because pornography is made from such an unbelievably male gaze, that's obvious.
Yeah.
It's made for men by men, that if you want to know what is pleasure, I'm not talking about like degrading, choking awfulness, but if you want to know what is pleasurable for a man in an oral sex situation, porn is actually a good thing to look at and
Yeah.
go, okay, this is for men by men.
Are you trying to say that people in porn know how to give good blowjobs?
Yeah, that is what I'm trying to say. And that if you are confused about how to do that,
Don't read Cosmo. Watch porn.
I think that is not terrible.
Choking,
No,
spitting.
I'm saying not to choking and spitting. Let's
I'm
take
saying
that out of it.
choking on the dick.
But even choking on the dick, that might be too much. That might be
Okay.
degrading for. I'm saying a non-choking, non-spitting blowjob
Just
scene.
a little suck on the balls.
Yeah, just for tricks. Natasha, you look horrified.
Yeah. No. I don't, again, it's like
What?
I hope,
Nothing.
I think
What?
If anything, I'm not I feel like it's so funny, right? Because you can tell I'm activated, right? Like
Well, she is too. I guess I am too. We all are.
Yeah, we all are. It's interesting because, like, obviously we're all comedians.
Well,
Watch
I've
the
never
episode.
heard this
The episode's
premise.
very funny. and this is the secret dump part, and I guess that's why this person it's a secret. So it's like that's what's it's activating all of us in different ways, and everybody's different. I mean, duh. But I just think a lot of things. I think we'd be a better world without porn. I think we'd be a better world without plastic surgery. I think if none of us could do it, but I'm also not going to be like I'm not denying the fact that like I do drink wine, and thank God I'm not an alcoholic.
Okay,
so I don't have to like deal with what that would look like for me.
What about in like the 70s and 80s when people had magazines? Do you think that would have been as bad for society?
It seems like kind of nice, and yeah, I think
you think the magazines are better. It's not the same because isn't it?
I think
holding women up to an unreasonable standard kind of thing.
Well, now looking back at them, some of them have like pretty. I don't know what the word is. Either not, not starved bodies.
They were not as skinny, you're saying?
Well, I just think like, I'm sure a lot of them were still like eating cotton balls and stuff, but
interesting.
There are more, I guess you could call average bodies or something like
that. Than
that.
Porn? I would say.
In old magazines?
I would say, I feel that like I probably watched more porn than you guys.
Definitely.
I would say that the desired body type in pornography is not skinny.
Yeah.
That these days.
At least not in Moshe's search words.
That's for sure not in my search words. But I would say the thicker the better is what's happening. But
yeah, I think I guess it's just more. I don't know how to put it.
What a world. Wait, so Natasha, any thoughts?
I think there's a lot of things that we'd be a lot better of a world.
That's true.
For.
But back to the original premise.
Yes.
Yeah.
Is it shady to subscribe to an I guess, to be honest, I don't really understand what OnlyFans is.
I think
I know it's a joke.
Yeah, exactly. What is the person
what do you
doing
do
specifically? I
so
think
let's pretend it's me and I do jerk off videos.
Mm-hmm.
But if you subscribe and pay an extra, so if you subscribe, you can watch my jerk off videos.
Mm-hmm.
But if you pay extra, let's say, then I will say, "Oh, Brian." And
you would pay for that for someone to say, "Oh, Moshe,"
and you write me and you say, "I want Moshe. I want you in leopard tights while you masturbate," and then I'll do that.
Okay, here's the thing: you DMing them already way too much mental energy to be giving to that for me to feel comfortable.
But my main thing is also just money, like especially if you're not contributing to the household. There's so many aspects. Like if he relies on me for money and you're using the money you do have to pay this bitch to fucking masturbate and say your name, it's like. Ugh, I'm tired.
Somebody once told me,
I don't like it.
Anything you wouldn't tell your partner is maybe not cheating, but it's not good.
Yeah.
And I think that's interesting.
A pretty decent rule.
I hope that you're not paying OnlyFans.
OnlyFans, it doesn't turn me on at all because I don't want. Like I said, porn to me is like a tool. I don't want an interaction. That's actually
well, I would say
disturbing to me.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong. I think the allure of it often is that you don't have to connect at all.
For me,
you're literally using a woman.
If you're lonely enough that you want a connection with the woman behind the screen, that's a whole other issue.
Agreed, and that might air towards OnlyFans territory a bit. But the allure of porn is I don't have to pleasure this woman. I don't have to treat her well. I don't have to do anything. I just fucking disconnect.
Yeah. You've seen me masturbate?
Yeah.
Why did you do my face? You did my face? That's so weird. I got to turn my webcam off.
All right. Well, listen, Moshe, we both think a little less of you from your answer.
I can feel it.
You know what? Can I know she's kidding, but
She's
I will say
sort of kidding.
this. Oftentimes, and I'm thankful that you're not shameful about it because I don't want it to be a source of shame. I don't think it should. And on top of that, like if there is something you feel shameful about, I think that is truly the place, like you want to find a vulnerability with your partner to share those things because it will bring you closer. You might be surprised. I mean, I don't know. I just think, and if that person doesn't receive it well, that is maybe a sign that that's not the right person for you. 2 TV shows come to mind, but Yellow Jackets and Physical. But there's a moment in Yellow Jackets where he kind of wants to play in kink and she sort of is like, ew, no. And it's like, and from sitting there, I was like, no. Don't do that to him. Like, because you just want someone to be able to share what they really want. And then that's what will turn you on too.
Sure.
And if you're not into it, you should also absolutely be honest about that.
It would be a very interesting experiment to have like couples and have you like not look at porn for 2 weeks.
This is kind of what I'm saying. Like again, you're saying there's nothing wrong. I absolutely believe you. You guys are hot. I'm sure you have great hot sex and you're both have a pattern of what you're both into. Like you say, you don't want to do it overnight. But it could be an interesting experiment, and then you could report back and see if it did change anything, and maybe it wouldn't.
Would you like me to stop looking at porn for 2 weeks, honey? I'll
He
do
might,
it.
who knows? Maybe he would be hornier. Maybe he'd be hornier for you. I have no fucking clue. And again, I don't know what married life is like. So please
I
don't.
can quit anytime I want. Okay, I just don't want to.
Okay, well.
I can quit anytime. So I'm not an addict,
I mean,
actually.
the problem is there's like such
Just
a
protest too much.
seduction. It's like, how can men particularly not be seduced by this idea that in your pocket you can just pull it out and be like, oh,
Definitely.
I'm sure like everyone who has that opportunity would take it
You
up.
both have that opportunity.
Yeah,
tonight.
and I guess what's the difference? Like, I just kind of don't want to. I don't know.
We have lives, honey.
I like I said, I like rather looking at like either thinking of an old partner or like watching a video that I've made with someone I care about, or
Let's make a video, honey. Maybe it'll bring us closer.
I want you only looking. I mean, there are people who think that any porn is like cheating.
Absolutely, there are.
yeah, and I'm not there. I just think
But you're getting there.
no. I just think it's like I want to know more, and I think there's so much more to learn, and I think there's like a lot of statistics that might be rolling in here pretty soon that are going to scare the shit out of us.
You mean you think a tsunami of data is about to hit that will prove
Hell yeah, son.
the negative impact porn has had on intimate relationships?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you could be right. You know, they say in Japan the rate of actual sexual encounters. I think this is a risk. The rate of actual sexual encounters going way down because masturbating is just so easy and so not fraught.
Yeah.
It's so simplistic.
I see the allure of it too, obviously. You don't have to fucking go out or connect or any of those things.
So what is our final answer to this
but
boy?
There is no final answer.
We did dip into actually one of the other questions too, actually.
Which is, how do you introduce a new kink?
Yeah.
That was another question. Was how do you introduce a new kink into a relationship? I think that you're right, but I think that the kind of thing that it's not a large leap to say porn is degrading to kink is degrading. I think that's not a crazy leap.
Kink is degrading?
Yeah, I think that there's a similar mindset that would say, you know, that stuff is the negative, vulgar slice of sexuality. Just as you wanting to spank me or tie me up, that's also degrading. And
or even daddy, like
or even daddy.
What's with daddy?
I don't
like
know.
incest or
how about
something?
this?
I don't know.
Speaking of kink in general, like, and me wanting to know more, I'm not even the authority. I'm just influenced by, like I told you, stuff that makes me angry or stuff that's affected me. And when it comes to like kink and stuff or experiences that men have based off what they've seen on porn, it's like, why? Why is she accepting that?
Mm-hmm.
Are you okay with reenacting the uncle that came into the room and didn't kiss her and fucked her real hard and left? Like, as long as you know what you're bringing to the table and you're okay with it and you can walk away scot-free, then yeah, look at porn and treat a woman like porn. But like, if you don't know the root of why she wants that, like, again, I'm not equating all S&M with someone who's been molested, but I think there are, like, this is what I'm saying. I don't know.
That's what the M in S&M stands for. Sadism and molestation. You
All
heard
right,
that?
listen, let's hear some secrets, okay?
All right, well,
you
listen.
guys can fight about this for 6 more hours.
P.S.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I want to know more.
People's
because-
search words are probably one of their biggest secrets, and their OnlyFans files are definitely their secret. Let's listen to some people's deep, dark secrets.
Let's do it.
Hey, you two. I've got a secret. So I'm at the airport. Sorry for the noise. And I just went through security, and I set up the alarm thing, like I always do when they do the body scan. And I have been doing that for years, setting that off. And I've never known why. Well, I did know why. Like, about 3 years ago, I figured it out. And it's because I have a very long labia. And when I figured it out, I was kind of shocked that that's the truth, but it is. And so I usually remember to take care of that. And this time I forgot. So I set it off again. And they gave me the thorough check that I've had too many times now. And I've never told anyone that my labia set off security systems. But they do. I love you both. Moshe, saw you in Raleigh, and it was a fantastic show. You crushed it. Good job. Bye, you too.
Well, maybe she has an OnlyFans.
Speaking of porn search
She's
words.
like, I got a little too loose.
Speaking of porn search words, we've got long labia calling in.
How does she take care of it? She puts
Sounds
on
like she rolls
Tight
it up.
underwear.
she
tight underwear.
rolls it up.
I think tight underwear.
Packing heat, dude. She gets it.
I think tight underwear, or I mean, a pad wouldn't solve it because that would also be seen.
I get where she's coming from because I set off the security alarm a lot.
Wait, why wouldn't
No, I
men's
don't. I
dicks
don't.
set it off?
They probably
then?
do if they're really big. Actually, that doesn't quite make sense
Really?
because isn't the longest labia probably about the size of the smallest penis? I mean,
Right. In recorded history.
yeah, I mean, there's no way her long labia is setting off the sensitivity alarm at the TSA.
I don't know.
I don't know
How long is it? I guess we don't know how long it is.
I thought it was going to be like, because I travel with a butt plug. You know what I mean? Here's my secret.
Maybe she's got a really long labia, like kind of do your knees hang low type of style.
Well, I'm
How
glad
long
she
can it
knows
be?
how to take care of it.
Yeah, she rolls it up and tucks it
Well,
in.
I guess, yeah.
That's beautiful.
Would you be into that, Moshe?
A long labia?
I
Sure.
don't know. Probably feel good, right?
Yeah.
Cover more surface area of your penis.
Yeah, sure. I'm in.
A little
I'm
more
in.
cushion for the push.
I actually, to be honest with you, Beth and Natasha, I feel that long labia actually have a destructive quality on intimate sexuality. And
Oh my
I do.
God.
I do. Listen,
Moshe just can't hear anything.
All
that-
I'm saying is, isn't it funny how we were all activated by it?
That is
I am
interesting.
recognizing it because I could feel myself, and it's because I've
No.
obviously been hurt by it.
yeah, I felt it too.
Yeah, so
Not your hurt. I mean, I felt
No,
us
but
all
just-
going
this
like,
is what I mean.
this
I-
is my thing. You know what it is because sex, even the most healthy of us, there's a little bit of like sinful secret shame tied up in it. And so everybody's like, you don't think my thing is the right thing?
and
Like,
that's kind of what I mean when you're introducing the kink. It's like you have to be gentle and like caring, and even if you're not into it, you say like. You can be honest about those things, but say like, I totally appreciate where you're coming from. I don't know if I can meet you there, but thanks for sharing it, and I don't judge you at all.
yeah.
And if someone doesn't receive
in my
it like
house,
that, like that's not
in my
cool.
house, we shit in the toilet. Yeah. What is your kink, Natasha?
I'm not saying my kid,
All right, let's hear another secret.
but I will say that I'm open to things.
So that's cool. I think I'm pretty boring.
Do you think that there's more less marital rape because of porn though? Maybe you know, like in the 50s, men would come home and be like, "Oh, I'm horny.
me, yeah.
Give it to me, lady." But now they can just be like, "Oh, I guess I'll get on Sherry's OnlyFans."
Oh, I was also thinking possible.
I guess if it's power related, the answer would be no.
Of
Probably
course,
not.
of
But
course.
what about the idea maybe, somebody is gay and in a deeply repressive community or society and they
Yeah.
can't find a partner
Obviously, porn has some positive,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah, I mean that's why I pay this fella on OnlyFans.
To say my name while he comes
Yeah, that's right.
into a trash
That was a
can.
very detailed OnlyFans. You're like, for example, you could pay someone to say your name while they're
I can tell you honestly, I have never paid for a subscription. I've subscribed to websites, but I've never paid. It doesn't turn
Why
me
don't
on.
you just go to YouPorn?
I have, but there's sometimes you're like, oh, I want a little more of that.
Oh, so you're like, you do the clickbait.
I
When
have
you're like, what about this
I
thing?
have paid
Oh,
memberships in my life.
It's like you go into the fucking Best Buy and they're like, would you like to spend $300 to have 1 year free
Total
of
Tech.
installation?
Total Tech, I'm a member.
Yeah.
All right.
All right,
Do you want the cheek squad?
here's a. You want the long labia squad? Here we go. Secret number 2.
Hi, Mrs. and Mr. Leggero.
Oh, you so rude.
I'm calling to submit a secret. I am currently on my maternity leave. I've got my beautiful, perfect 5-week-old daughter. And, everyone says that never too early to read to your baby. So, she doesn't actually know what I'm reading her. So I've just been reading to her the books that I want to read, which recently has included Natasha, your book, The World Deserves My Children,
Thank
which, by the
you.
way, phenomenal. And my dear daughter also seems to really enjoy it. So keep up the good work. It's great to hear some adult voices while I'm hanging out at home with the babe. Take care. Bye.
So is she listening to you on tape?
It sounds like she's reading the book to her, but that's really smart because, like, they don't know what the hell you're reading. You're just supposed to be, like,
But
talking.
what if they do?
Yeah, aren't you supposed to be like
don't.
lacing in the fundamentals of language? That's why you read them little books. You're not supposed to read them.
That's why you have
the
these
brothers
these
Karamazov.
funny TikToks of the kids being like, "What the fuck you just say to me?"
I always
Right,
played
right.
our kid, like, the music that I liked, and I feel like she likes good music now because of it, and I think it's cool.
All right, last secret. of the night.
Is this just for your subscribers?
No, it goes out to everybody.
Oh, this
It
is
For
should-
some reason, we have two episodes a week.
Okay.
It happened during the pandemic.
Yeah.
Because we had a lot of secrets and we didn't have time to do the secrets in our episode because we had the.
You know,
guests.
a lot of things are better now.
You think?
A lot of things are much worse. Yeah. All right, last secret.
Hi guys. I hope this is a good secret. So I was listening to an episode where Moshe was talking about doing acid for the first time when he was a young kid, and same, but that reminded me the first time I ever did mushrooms. I was about 16 and I did them with a boyfriend, an ex-boyfriend, and I ate way too many, like just way too many. And then it was time for my mom to come pick me up. And I was still totally tripping balls, but I remember trying to act normal, like I was not. And I kept talking to her and trying to have a whole conversation with her about all these things. And at the same time, I would just get lost in my thoughts and like stop talking to her. I'm sure I sounded insane, but she never said a word to me. And when I got home, I just went and hid in my room. But yeah, do you think she knew?
Okay, that's not a secret.
No. But I don't think she knew. And I'll tell you why.
Do you feel like you wouldn't know if our daughter came to you and was like, yeah, Dad, it was fun, and talking to you and she was tripping?
I think if you're that young, the context of a person being on a heavy psychedelic is so foreign to you that you just think like your child is having some really interesting thoughts. I know my mom didn't know. The first time I did acid, I just talked to her for hours about how much I loved her, how just awesome of a person she was.
Yeah,
And
sometimes there are positives of drugs.
she was just like, oh, this is what I've always wanted to hear from you. You think our
Right.
kid will do mushrooms?
I don't know. I hope
I hope she
not.
does coke, and she's like, "You guys are the best. I love you so much. Thank you for raising me. I'm so thankful. I love the dogs. Let's get new ones. They barf everywhere, but it's fun."
Speaking of being the best, Beth Stelling, you are the best. Thank you
You're
for
the
joining
best.
us. You're the
I
best.
love you guys.
Love you too. Thank you for staying so long. We really appreciate it. See you all next week on the Endless Honeymoon Podcast with special guest, Beth Stelling.
See you then.